Hello. Well, the government has apparently missed a unique opportunity to tackle ageism in England following a report from the Women and Equalities Committee. And now the National Pensioners Convention has warned that the government's non-committal response fails to reflect the urgencies of the issues facing older people in the country. Welcome to Grey Matters. Hello, and welcome to Grey Matters, the channel that promotes the fact that the older generation still matters and still has relevance, and which looks at issues that matter to the older generation. Now, you'll recall in the last episode I said we'd had the decorators in. Well, now we've had the interior designers in as well. No expense spared for you. Thank goodness for Facebook Marketplace. Now then, subscribers and regular viewers will recall a recent episode that we did that was on the topic of ageism in the UK. And in that episode I mentioned that Wales had a commissioner for older people. And many of their local authorities had older people's champions. Now, it's a system that's seen real progress in promoting and protecting the rights of the older generation. So I was very pleased to receive an email from the National Pensioners Convention reporting that the Women's and Equalities Committee had recommended that by the end of the year the government should have made progress on establishing a similar framework to protect older people's rights in this country. But, and isn't there always a but, it appears that ministers were sadly lacking in commitment. In response to the Women and Equalities Committee, they said they would evaluate the effectiveness of the Welsh Commissioner but would not commit to establishing that post in England. Nor have they agreed to implement a national strategy for our rapidly ageing population, supported by local champions. Well, the National Pensioners Convention has now called upon the government to move beyond consideration to concrete commitment, beginning with a public consultation and a clear timeline for action. Now, Jan Short, who's the NPC General Secretary, said that in Wales, having a dedicated commissioner has made a real difference in defending the rights and welfare of older people. But, she says, the evidence already exists that the need in England is great and urgent too. What older people require is not more delay, but decisive action. And she's not wrong there, is she? I mean, she also said that a commissioner for older people in England, backed by a network of local champions, would provide national leadership and accountability that's currently missing. The time to act is now. And ain't that the truth? And I can speak from experience about local champions because I was a local councillor in my town. And we started a programme of having councillors taking up positions of local champions. We had one for education, we had them for policing, we had them for health, and it was very effective. And they had to report back at each monthly meeting what improvements and what contact they'd had in their relevant sphere. And it actually did produce some good results. So I could see this at a national level could work very well as well when it's aimed at older people. And I think it's fair to say that you could ask, what are the issues faced by an ageing population? And it's also fair to say that younger people will comment on this channel, as they often do, that all old people do is whinge and complain. But perhaps it's also fair to say that they actually have cause to complain. And the major challenges in England include poverty, social care gaps, age discrimination and digital exclusion. Now, we all know that now Rachel Thieves is slashing welfare for our disabled population. Those welfare gaps will widen even more. And let's face it, if people with physical and mental disabilities are going to have trouble getting the help they need, what hope is there for the elderly? And digital exclusion is a very real problem. Almost everything is online these days. Paying bills, simple things as notifying a change of address, try to do that on the phone and you'll get directed to a website. Doctor's appointments, almost exclusively arranged online now, and although many surgeries offer accessible arrangements, that normally means that you have to phone in. And if you don't do that by about 8:30 a.m, you don't stand a chance of getting an appointment. Now, the last time I phoned in, I was 86th in the queue. I kid you not, 86th in the queue. A nightmare. What else is a nightmare? Well, banking for many. With the high street banks closing, banking again is largely online. The post office has taken up some of the slack, but if you have a current account with a building society, then forget it. The post office can't help you. And if you recall, in a major cost-cutting exercise, the post office closed most of its branches and rented space inside shops instead. Well, that's all well and good until the retail company starts closing its branches too, as happened where I live. So now our local post office has had to close as well. Now, I know people of my age who are mystified by computers. My late father-in-law, when he was in his 80s, was shown how to use his laptop and his iPad by so many different people, but he just couldn't cope with it. Conversely, I have to say I know of a magnificent woman who will be 96 this year, who is a talented painter and writer, and who gets on fine with the internet, emails, word processing, all that sort of stuff. Doesn't faze her at all. I think she might be the exception, but actually, if you know of anyone like that, who's old, who takes technology in their stride, do let us know in the comments. So, many older people really do need an advocate to represent them, and Jan Short says that none of these things will change without a strong and independent advocate to represent their interests at national level. Wales and Northern Ireland already have commissioners for older people, and it's now been more than 2 years since the MPC, together with 3 other organisations, Independent Age, Ageing Better and Age UK, launched their joint campaign to establish the same role in England. 2 years. Yeah, things can move slowly in government circles, and it seems that successive governments have been quick to act when it comes to setting up quangos for all sorts of reasons, but as usual, when it comes to protecting the rights of older people, they're content to drag their heels and keep their wallets firmly shut. As Jan says, the time to act is now. And what do you think? Would a commissioner for older people be effective? Would the current government even listen to him or her? Would they act on their recommendations? Personally, I think it would be a great idea, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments. We do try and read all your comments. It's a great little community we've got going there now. If you've not commented before, please do. And if you're not a subscriber, then please consider hitting that subscription button and the notification bell. Share and do give us a thumbs up, because it all helps to get us pushed forward in front of more people. And we're still trying to reach that magic 40,000 subscribers number, so please consider that. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate the company, and until the next time on Grey Matters, it's bye for now.